All right. What we discussed today is actually still the following issue of what we discussed last week about the organization and value. All right. So, as you know, these are the um, material that we're going to discuss in the whole semester from meeting number one until 14. All right. So, like I mentioned, that this meeting is actually still on the discussion of meeting number two, but um, if it's still possible, if still have time, I will combine the discussion or the material for this meeting for meeting number two and number three. But if it's not possible, like I mentioned, maybe I need to provide a video, yeah, that you can watch, yeah, that you can watch. So um, we can catch up with the material. All right. So briefly, I will discuss about what's organization. Yeah. So organization is a tool used by people to coordinate their action to obtain something they desire or value. Now, uh, from this definition, there are one keyword that I think is very important to discuss in this subject, which is value. So organization usually exists, yeah, to obtain value. So organizations exist to achieve something they desire, which is their objective, or to achieve a value. Okay. And what's its value actually? Now, before we discuss what's value, this is one another slide that remind us why organization is exist. Yeah. So uh, here you can find some reason why organization exists. If we see from the system perspective, from the input, process, and output, yeah, you can see that the output where organization exists is increase the value that an organization can create. Yeah. Just above me, you can see a box saying that one of the objective for why organization exists is to increase the value. All right. So, what's value actually in general? Yeah. You can find the term value in uh, many field. For example, in lean, for example, yeah, lean manufacturing or lean management. In lean's perspective, value is actually something that the customer want to pay. Yeah, this is the value on from lean perspective. But from the perspective of organization design, value is general criteria, standard, or guiding principle that people use to determine which type of behavior, event, situation, and outcome are desirable or undesirable. This value. Yeah. So actually, value could be standards. Yeah. If you see some words in bold, it means that that's the thing that you can select as keywords. Standard that people use to determine desirable outcome. Yeah. Yeah. In a general situation, value is affected by environment. On the next meeting, we will talk about what's the environment actually. What's the environment of management? What's the environment of business? What's the environment of organization? We will talk about it on the next meeting. So environment actually the set of forces and conditions that operates beyond an organization boundaries, but effect is ability to acquire and use resource to create value. So if you see organization as as what is it as a system, for example, yeah, everything surrounding the system is actually environment. Yeah. So everything surrounding the organization is also the environment. In some stages, the environment, yeah, it can affect the organization to acquire and use resources. Okay, resources uh, is needed for organization, yeah, to create value. Yeah, if you remember our maybe first or second meeting that um, from industrial engineering perspective, the process it could be kind of um, value added process. There is a value added process, yeah, in the system. Yeah, in order to be able to add the value, we need resources. Then resources is acquired from the environment outside the organization actually. Okay, so that's what environment. We will discuss more detail about environment on the next meeting. All right. So actually, there are two type of value. First one is terminal value, and the second one is instrumental value. Terminal value is a desired end state of outcome that people seek to achieve, or the organization seek to achieve. Where instrumental value is a desired mode of behavior. All right. So we have discussed about terminal value and instrumental value last week. That we come to a conclusion that terminal value is could be the goal of organization, yeah, and it can be reflected in the KPI or key performance indicator. Yeah. But key performance indicator is could be it could belong to organization or belong to the department or one department in the organization. Yes, it's right. It's once again it's depend on our perspective of the organization. If we see organization as a system has a super system, and it also possible to have a smaller system or a subsystem. All right. If we see organization or a company as a system, the KPI belong to the organization, yeah, is the terminal value. But please remember that the organization it also has a department, some department, yeah, inside the organization, and this department they also have their own KPIs, meaning that the department is a smaller organization in the bigger organization. That's for the from the from the system perspective. All right. So terminal value in a department is the KPI. Terminal value for the organization or for the company is the KPI of the company. Okay, so please don't be confused about terminal value. Terminal value is actually the end state or outcome that people or organization seek to achieve. Okay, but we need to what is it? We need to determine the level of the organization. Is it in a big organization or in the subsystem of the organization? That's the thing that we need to find out first to determine the terminal value. All right, and the second one is instrumental value. So instrumental value is desired mode of behavior in order to achieve the terminal value. So we have terminal value. We want to we have terminal value. We already determine the outcome. We determine the end state of the organization. Okay. The question is uh, how the desired mode of behavior that we need to design or we need to have to achieve the terminal value. That's instrumental value. I will give you example later. This is the example of terminal value and instrumental value. All right. So terminal value. like I mentioned, is the end state. Yeah, we need to determine the desired level of quality, responsibility, innovativeness, excellence, economy, morality, profitability, anything. Okay, that's the end state. But quality, responsibility, and any other terminal value here is need something that can be quantified. Okay, for example, quality. The company, for example, they want to achieve an excellent level of quality, and then we need to quantify what the meaning of excellent quality. Is it related with the number of reject? Is it related with uh, the number of products sold, for example? Yeah. So if we or if the organization, yeah, quantify excellence quality with the product reject, we can determine the KPI. For example, the product reject is maximum 0.1%. Yeah. So if 0.1% product reject can be reached, it means the terminal value can be reached. Okay. So once again, terminal value is the the end state that people or organization want to achieve, right? And then on your right hand side is the example of instrumental value, right? Instrumental value, yeah, if from you can see there, is working hard, respect tradition, respecting authority, being conservative, and so and so and so. Okay, so um, in order to achieve quality, for example, or in order to achieve profitability here, yeah, if you see on terminal value on the last point, there's a profitability. Yeah, how we can achieve profitability by applying a behavior in the instrumental value, which is maybe working hard or being honest or something like that. Okay, so there is connection between terminal value and instrumental value. For example, is the terminal value we want to achieve the excellence quality. How? What kind of behavior that we need to do in instrumental value? Okay. For example, what we need to do in instrumental value is we need to uh, work based on the SOP, work carefully, and something like that. You, as a student, I believe you have a terminal value here. Your terminal value is uh, the end state that you want to achieve when you graduate from this department. For example, maybe I want to have GPA, for example, 3.75 with the maximum length of study is 4 years. That's the terminal value that you want to achieve, the end state. All right, 3.75, and the maximum study period is 5 years. The question is, what kind of behavior that you need to apply now within the process to be the graduate of industrial engineering in order to achieve the terminal value that you desire. Maybe you need to be you the instrumental value, for example, working hard, yeah, respecting your colleagues, respecting your friend, respecting your lectures, for example, respecting others, how to use the time wisely, yeah. There's instrumental value, yeah, that you can apply, the behavior that you can apply in order to achieve the end value or the terminal value, which is your target when you study in industrial engineering. All right, come on, let's continue. Now, this is I give you example of the Toyota value. So I just got this morning, yeah, Toyota value. Actually, they have five core value: professional excellence, customer oriented, teamwork, welcoming new challenge, and global perspective. All right. Um, okay. I repeat it once again. So uh, from our discussion, we have not decided whether these five value are provisional value. Sorry, is instrumental value or terminal value. But if you read on the sentence under those five value, yeah, the sentence saying that these five qualities are drilled into every employee so that such culture could be promoted, right? So what happen is these five core value that we haven't decided this one is instrumental or terminal, but those value are drilled, yeah, injected into the mind of the employees. And what the company expect is after the employees have those five value, a particular culture of the employees can be promoted. So if we see cause and effect from this five value, they expect there is one culture that can be promoted. This culture is related with behavior. So in my point of view, yeah, this culture related to the what is it? Related to the instrumental value that they are expected to be generated after those five terminal value are drilled into the employees. All right, and then this is the Toyota purpose statement. Yeah, their purpose statement is to eliminate waste and satisfy customer need at the lowest possible cost, with consideration and respect for humanity of employees. Yeah, what does that mean? Toyota will embrace common principle to drive a problem-solving culture. Yeah, Toyota will teach their people how to identify and eliminate the root cause of wasteful process. And the result you can see there. So from this one, they have a problem-solving culture. This is uh, their lean as their instrumental value in order to reach those five terminal value. This is only a simple example. Yeah, you can find the example of many terminal and instrumental value in organization. So what's the role of value in organization? Yeah, so value in organization, if they have value, it can affect other aspect in organization, the organization structure, organization strategy, organization system, style, staffing, skills, and so on. So actually, if organization has value, yeah, organization has value, it will impact other thing in the organization. Yeah. Can you imagine? Maybe I believe that you have uh, enough time in UE. Yeah, just imagine what's the value of UE, okay, and how this value affect the structure, how the value affect the strategy, affect the system. affect the skill and so on. Yeah, just think about it. And then this is the how we can create value in organization. Okay, value organization. In order to create value, if we see organization once again as a system has input, process, output, environment. On the top left hand side, you have the organization input. Yeah, organization input may consist of material, yeah, financial, money and capital, human resources, information and knowledge, uh, customer of service organization and something like that. So once again, on your top left hand side, there's the input of organization, um, in order to create value, all right? And then it moved to the organization conversion process. Yeah, the organization transform input and add value to them. Yeah, there's what they need is machinery, computers, human skill and ability. Yeah, and other like energy and something like that. And then it create output. Yeah, output could be finished goods, services, dividend, salaries, and value for stakeholder. Yeah, and then uh, this output and then transfer into the environment outside the organization, of course, which is which are customer. I mean, stakeholders, suppliers, distributors, government, competitors, and so on. This is the cycle of how to create value in organization. Okay. All right, let's continue. And this is the big picture of what we discuss also in this subject. So the main issue is about organizational theory. Organizational theory is the study of how organization function and how they affect and are affected by the environment in which they operate. This organizational theory. And organizational theory uh, may consist of three big aspects. First one, we can talk about organizational structure on your left hand side, and then organizational design and change, and then organizational culture. So actually, our subject is not far from those three aspects: designing the organizational culture, um, organizational design and change, how to design organization and how they can ready with the change, and organizational culture. Okay, and if you see organizational culture here, uh, on the first point, it said that the set of shared value and norms that control organization member interaction with each other and with people outside the organization. Yeah, that's value that we discussed today. So now, if you check on the second box here, organizational design and change. Yeah, where organizational design and change are important. Organizational design and change are important. Yeah, there are five or four main reasons where organization design and change are important. The first is dealing with contingencies. Second one is managing diversities. The third is gaining competitive advantages. And the fourth is promoting efficiencies, speed, and innovation. From those four reasons, yeah, we can what is it? We can have kind of overview why the organization design and change are important. Yeah, organization design is meaning that the design of organization, the design of organization, and change. means that um, the change within the organization, the design, the, the change of the design of the organization. So, in some organization, in order to adapt with the environment, yeah, in order to adapt with the environment, they also need to change the design of the organization. Why they need to change? Because once again, dealing with contingencies, to manage the diversities, to gain competitive advantage, promoting efficiency, speed, and innovation. Okay, I give you example one by one. Uh, I'm start with the point number two, managing diversities. Where organization design and change related with managing diversities. Yeah, where is it? Oh, sorry. Just give me 1 second. So, what's the example of managing diversities and why diversities is important for organization? Yeah, this is the benefit of diversity in the workplace and how diversities promote profits. Yeah. So, diversities could be in terms of ages. Yeah, there are old people, young people, yeah, middle-aged people, yeah, from many races, white, white, brown, black, something like that. Yeah, from many belief, many faith. Yeah. So these diversities can provide benefit in the organization. Yeah, if you see on the top left hand side, a diverse workplace better understand diverse market and stimulating innovation. Okay, so uh, if we have in our organization have a diversity, people from many background of race, many background of faith, for example, and many ages, they can understand their market better instead of having organization from uh, the same type of people. Okay, from the same type of people. Okay, so where these diversities, yeah, can be applied in the organizational design? That's the big question. All right. For example, um, in Indonesia or maybe in the world now, um, some big companies they kind of uh, testify that like millennial can provide a good kind of contribution to organization. So they give some place in their organizational structure, or maybe they can make a new rule that in every department, yeah, in the process of the decision making, they should uh, collaborate with some millennials, for example. Yeah, that's the thing that can affect the design of the organization. So please don't be afraid if you can find diversity in your workplace, because diversity is actually is benefit. So don't be afraid working with people from other race or other countries or from other religion. Yeah, actually, with these diversities, we can have a better understanding with each other, and of course, it will be provide benefit for the organization. So, like, all right. On the second, on the third one is gaining competitive advantage. Yeah. The the big question is how competitive advantage can be attained from the organizational design or how organizational design can provide competitive advantage for the organization. Okay, I give you this figure. So according to Porter, yeah, Porter is one of uh, the famous expert on marketing. Yeah, according to Porter, um, there are three main corporate strategies: responsiveness, cost leadership, and differentiation. Responsiveness, if a organization or a company or a corporate, they want to apply responsiveness strategy, they need reliability, quickness, and flexibility. Yeah. If an organization want to uh, apply cost leadership, yeah, they have to focus on price. Yeah, because cost leadership means how they can provide the lowest cost possible for their customer. And differentiation is about quality, about uniqueness, yeah, and something like that. So the combination of those three strategy, it creates what we call as competitive advantage. Competitive advantage through which the company market is attractive. So if a company can apply responsiveness, they can create new market share. If a company create cost leadership, they create new market share. If company create differentiation, they can create a new market share. But please bear in mind that um, company need only to apply one strategy only. They cannot apply the whole strategy at once because differentiation and cost leadership, for example, yeah, it kind of the opposite. Um, Cost leadership, yeah, can be attained with a mass production. Mass production is producing one item with a big amount of quantity, means that uh, it will not have differentiation. So cost leadership and differentiation is uh, two different things. It means that it is difficult for organization to achieve cost leadership and differentiation at the same time. Okay. But what company can do is they have to choose one first, only one strategy. For example, they choose responsiveness. Or I give you example in one airline in Indonesia. If we talk about one airline in Indonesia that focus on cost leadership, yeah, I believe that you have one company in mind. Yeah, company with orange color, right? I will not say what is it, but it's the color is orange. If I ask you what's the cheapest airline in Indonesia, I think you will come with one name of airline. That's cost leadership. Yeah. The problem is sometimes if we use those airline, we cannot achieve the responsiveness. We cannot rely reliability with them, especially on time reliability, especially on the quickness and flexibility. No, flexibility means what if I change schedule? Usually they say no because you pay uh, cheap here for this ticket. You cannot change your schedule. So we don't have flexibility on cost leadership. Okay, but after they choose cost leadership, what they can do is uh, they can improve their reliability, they can improve their quickness as their second layer of strategy. After they reach a particular market share based on their cost leadership, yeah, and then they improve their responsiveness, they will reach a new market share. People will think, oh, this organization is cheap, their product is cheap, but they're also reliable. It will increase their market share. Okay, and then the third layer, they create uniqueness, for example, or they provide a good quality. That even better, it will create a bigger market share. This market share is the competitive advantage of the organization. The question is how the organization um, can be designed in order to fulfill this kind of uh, corporate strategy. We cannot provide cost leadership if the organization is big. Does that make sense? We cannot create cost leadership. We cannot produce product or services with low price within a very big and ineffective organization. The question is how we can make a lean, agile, and small organization, yeah, so we can reduce the cost in order to provide a lower cost of product and service to the customer. It leads to how we design the organization. And then if the organization and then think, okay, we have market leader, we have market share with cost leadership. Next is I want to, or the organization want to get a new market share by adding quickness and responsibility and reliability, for example. Yeah, in order to achieve reliability and quickness, it means that they have to change the design of their organization. So from that explanation, yeah, I think uh, there is a very strong relation between organization design and gaining competitive advantage. Yeah, after the competitive advantage is attained, yeah, it can promote efficiencies, speed, and innovation. Yeah, it depend or rely on the strategy that are selected by the organization. All right. All right, let's continue. What if organization design is poor? Yeah. How if the organization design is poor? What if? Yeah. It will be a declining of the organization. Organization may decline. Why? Imagine if they once again we go back to the cost leadership. Yeah. Okay. Our, for example, organization say that when organization say that I want to apply a cost leadership, we need to provide lower cost as possible to our customer, but they have big organization. Yeah, they fail. Yeah, instead of having a market share, their market share is getting smaller and smaller, and it leads to the decline of the organization. And what happens if the organization decline? Um, it will affect the process of acquire the resource. Is there any people who want to supply resource like human resource or raw material into a declining organization? It seems impossible. If we know that, oh, this organization is declining, this organization has problem, yeah, people will think twice to supply resource to them because it will be a big risk for the supplier to supply resource in a problem organization or to organization who has problem. And then talented employee turnover. Once again, if the organization is declining, yeah, the talented employee, they may resign. They may choose to move to other companies, and also lower performance, and those crises may lead to organization failure. Yeah. So therefore, Once again, it is important to maintain the organizational effectiveness because it is the same as maximizing value creation. How to maintain organization effectiveness? By providing the organization with the efficient, effective design of organization. How to do that? That's the big issue that we need to discuss in the subject in the whole semester. All right. Okay, this is a table that you can read further about measuring organizational effectiveness. Yeah, from the previous slide saying that it is important to maintain organizational effectiveness and how to measure organizational effectiveness. Yeah, you can see at least there are three approaches there: external resource approach, internal system approach, and technical approach, and that the description and the goal to measure the effectiveness. Yeah. Okay, let's skip this one. Yeah. Some example of company value that you know. Yeah, I think we can skip that one. And you can go here. Yeah. The example of company value. I have provided some. I provided one example in Toyota. Right. All right. So we got to a conclusion. So organizations are used by people to achieve their goal. Yeah, once again, we're not talking here about industry only, but organization could be profit-oriented organization or non-profit oriented organization. But both profit and non-profit oriented organization, I believe that they have goal. Because if we see from the system perspective where organization as a system. So a system has a purpose or a goal. So organization as a system, they also has their goal. And then the second one, organizational effectiveness lead to the maximization of value creation. Yeah, value may consist of terminal value and also instrumental value. Yeah, and then we can measure the effectiveness of organization via several approach. Yeah, as you see on the previous slide. Okay, and this is the reference where um, we have some sources from these slides. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.